Welcome. We're ready for the freaking playoffs. NFL. Niners secure the 1 seed Sunday night. They beat the Seahawks. That was a crazy game. We ended the decade with a pretty much perfect moment at the goal line stop, the stop part 2. So that was pretty fresh. And we got at the number 2 seed in the NFC, the Packers somehow, 13-3. I can't understand it for my life.
Yeah, they look kind of sloppy near the end of the year, but I mean, they escaped with the 2 seed, so hey, and it's hard to go into Lambeau and win, so they definitely got pretty lucky with that. They should be very happy about that.
13-3. It might be the worst 13-3 team I've ever seen. And then in the AFC, that was crazy. I was pretty much jumping out of my seat about the Dolphins beating the Patriots.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about that too. Patriots away, Patriots going. I mean, the Patriots have their first matchup at home, but the Patriots on the road versus home, it's a completely different team, man. That's a different team. And they look kind of sloppy. This past 2 months, they looked very sloppy. So
we could talk about that first if you want.
yeah, I mean we can hit that matchup first if you want to go.
Talk about Titans going
Patriots.
up to Foxborough, taking the Patriots. What do you think? What's the outcome going to be?
What's the outcome going to be?
The outcome.
All right, first let me say some stuff real quick. So, ever since the Titans got Tannehill, their record is 7-3 with Tannehill as a starter. The Patriots are 0-4 when their defense allows 17 points or more.
That's not a high number.
17 points. It's not good.
So their defense has to bail them out.
Their defense is going to have to bail them out. And their defense is 6th ranked against the rush, which is good because you're going to have to go up against the Titans O-line, which overall has been pretty good this year, and Derrick Henry, who just led the league in rushing. So you're going to have to stop that. And Tannehill finished the year with the highest passer rating in the league. With all these different statistics that I'm throwing out there, personally, I think the Titans are actually going to go into Foxborough and they're going to win.
Is that too good to be true? I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Okay, so I know when you bet against the Patriots, it never works. But I just feel like this is the year. I say this we all say this every year. Every year it's something. Oh, the Patriots look slow. Oh, the Patriots look this.
This
oh, the
is
Patriots
different.
look that.
And
we say that too. We say that it looks different, but no, this year, man, it just looks different. This year looks different, and the Titans are hot going into the playoffs, and the Patriots have won less games than the Dolphins have since November. Patriots are 4-4, Dolphins are 5-4, and they just lost to the Dolphins at home in a game where if they won, they would have clinched home field advantage. In the playoffs.
hate to see it.
I love to see it, but hey.
Well, when I say you hate to see it, you really love to see it.
Most of America.
I don't want to come off as a Patriots hater. It's the best sports dynasty we've ever witnessed.
Yeah, I'm not discrediting the Patriots, but it's very easy to not like them. So
what do you think is the biggest difference between this year and last? Because last year I was saying myself, this Patriots team does not look the same. Mm-hmm. I picked the Chargers to beat them, and that didn't work out. But
yeah, the biggest difference for me is Gronk. And even though Gronk really wasn't like that amazing last year, Gronk is a safety. He's a safety blanket for the Patriots.
They're tight. They don't have anything at tight end.
Yeah, Benjamin Watson. I mean, he's all right, but he's not Gronk. And on top of that, the receivers are just Edelman's good. Don't get me wrong. N'Keal Harry hasn't shown much. Sanu was not worth a second round pick in my opinion.
He might not be worth a 7th.
So. I mean, honestly, I have the Titans winning this weekend. I hope they win, but I think they might. I think this is the year where we see the Patriots dynasty not come to an end, but slowly start to derail. How about you?
Yeah, earlier in the week, coming off that the Titans have been on fire, and the Patriots just lost to the Dolphins. It's kind of hard not to pick the Titans. But I'm actually going to take the Titans as well.
Wait, whoa.
I'm going to, twist.
Whoa.
Watch out.
Whoa. Okay.
But yeah, Stephon Gilmore, he's been incredible this year. But the Patriots they've struggled recently against good teams. Like the Chiefs. Yeah. The Chiefs, Texans, and Ravens are combined 0-3. The only AFC playoff team they've beaten is the Bills twice. And those were extremely close games.
Yeah, they were 7-point games both times.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
How about Ryan Tannehill? In the fourth quarter of one-score games, has a rating of 147. 31 of 40, 372 yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 picks in the fourth quarter in a one-score game.
I like Tannehill, man.
But yeah, the Gronkowski factor is huge. They're just double teaming Edelman every time.
I mean, who else are they going to throw to?
Just take away Edelman. They don't have any weapons. Yeah. The Titans have better weapons. They have A.J. Brown, who's been on a tear this year.
Baller.
He is leading the league in yards after catch per reception. So he's getting it done after the catch, which is huge for wide receivers. Jonnu Smith has been pretty good for the Titans.
Good, yeah.
You look at the plays he's made even after the catch. So the Titans receivers are stepping up. They've been one of the most surprising receiving corps this year.
Yeah.
With A.J. Brown, Adam Humphries, Corey Davis, Jonnu Smith's having a good year. He might be better than Delaney Walker.
Yeah, he's been good.
I think he's a better tight end than Delaney Walker.
Yeah.
And then the offensive line of the Titans has been ridiculous. Derrick Henry's leading the league in rushing.
Yeah, they're running the ball with ease too. There's like holes for Derrick Henry, and even when there's not, Derrick Henry will break a tackle.
I have no faith in the Patriots' run. Like their run offense from last year compared to this year has been night and day. Mm-hmm. And Sony Michel hasn't been good. No. He goes down at first contact what seems like every single play.
Yep.
So I'm willing to fade the Patriots here, and I'm going to take the Titans.
Another really big thing going from last year to this year was what I was talking about earlier was last year when you pressured Tom Brady, he picked teams apart, especially last year in the playoffs. Every time when the Rams pressured him, picked him apart. Chiefs pressured him, picked him apart. This year, though, Brady does not look the same against the pressure. He looks worse against the pressure this year. And hopefully the Titans can come up with something new to throw at the Patriots, pressure Brady a little bit, get him a little uneasy, and maybe hopefully, man, I think the Titans have a good chance.
Another reason why I like the Titans in that game, well, I said A.J. Brown's a huge factor for that game. He's been unreal. I think he could have some success after the catch. And you got Tannehill, who's been avoiding a lot of mistakes this year. Not only has he been making amazing throws down the field, he's been making great reads, but he's been avoiding the boneheaded plays as well. Yeah. So I think a big key difference, one thing you have to do against the Patriots is avoid mistakes at all costs.
Yeah, because the Patriots don't make mistakes.
Don't beat yourself. Do not beat yourself.
Yep.
And special teams, don't let them block your punt. That's going to change the game.
No fumbles on a punt return. Yeah. Nothing.
You're going to have to keep it clean that way. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I feel as though the Patriots' margin of error is much slimmer.
Yeah.
Especially compared to recent years.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a very close game. But, yeah, Titans. Hopefully, man. We'll see.
We can go to other AFC game now.
Next AFC matchup.
The Bills visiting the Houston Texans.
This was one of the hardest matchups for me to choose, who I thought would win. Let's see. So, I chose the Bills. And the reason why I chose the Bills was because solely on their defense. Their defense is unreal. Stacked from top to bottom, like we've talked in previous segments before. The offense, that's where the game is going to be won. How Josh Allen is going to do is how the Bills are going to do. Because the defense can carry their weight. They've carried their weight against plenty of good teams this year. It just comes down to Josh Allen, and if he's going to be able to step up, make those throws that he needs to make, if he's going to be able to escape the pocket, if he's going to be able to run when he needs to. And it's just going to come down to that, really. Another breaking news right now is J.J. Watt's officially back. They just activated him.
Huge.
So that's going to be a big factor also.
Their defense has really been struggling.
Yeah, so that's a big.
He was leading the league in pressures before he got hurt, I'm pretty sure. He was dominant as dominant as he's ever been. So that's a big factor. And then you've also got Will Fuller coming back.
Which is big.
He's
a deep threat.
He takes the top off defenses. Yep. He helps out Watson and Hopkins so much. Interesting fact here, they're averaging a full more yard per play with Will Fuller in their lineup.
Yes, wow.
So there you go. I mean, I'm going to take the Texans. I feel so strongly about that.
This is it's
to me, having the Texans as only 2.5-point favorites, being at home, I see this team being better than neutral on a. They're saying that these teams are even. Basically, on a neutral field, even saying that the Bills are better, which I do not agree with. I don't think that their defense is going to be able to carry them much longer. It's unsustainable. It is unsustainable.
Yeah.
It's been proven time and time again that your defense carrying you like this, it cannot last. Trust me, I've learned the Giants, when they got their defense got them into the playoffs, and we had to play the Packers the first round, it wasn't sustainable. Our defense was carrying us to every win. So,
I don't know. I mean, it really comes down to how Josh Allen does. I think the Bills' defense can hold them to a point. I don't think Houston scores more than 24. I think 20 to 24 is what about Houston will score this game. It just comes down again to Josh Allen, and it's Josh Allen has been so wishy-washy in some of these games. He makes the right throw sometimes, he makes awful throws other times, and it just comes down to him. That he's the biggest factor of this game for me personally.
They're just winning too ugly for me to have any faith in it. But the Texans' defense has been awful. They're allowing the most yards per play on defense this season.
Yeah, and the Bills do have some playmakers on that offense. You know, Devin Singletary's been pretty good this year. John Brown has looked outstanding this year. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a good game. That was the hardest game for me to choose the winner of, and I wouldn't be mad at you for saying Houston. That's a perfectly reasonable argument.
Well, you better not be. I'm betting on Deshaun Watson. He's built for this.
Deshaun Watson is built for this.
He's got it.
He's built for
I'm taking Deshaun Watson over Josh Allen. I'm sorry.
I can believe that.
I'm not putting faith.
Sense.
Defense. Their defense has carried them. They had a good run. It's going to end here. And I said the Bills were going to be good this year.
You did, actually, before the season started. I said the Jets were going to be good, which
they were my sleeper team. The Bills were my sleeper team, and now it's time to hop off the bandwagon. So
let's see. Maybe you hopped off too early. We'll see. You want to switch over to the NFC?
NFC, yes.
All right, so first matchup, Vikings-Saints. Man,
this is brutal. Man. I don't like these teams at all.
You don't like either one? You don't like the Saints or the Vikings?
I like the Saints if they were playing at home the rest of the playoffs.
Oh, well, yeah.
They're different on the road.
They're a very different team on the road.
I wonder what I didn't look at their home road splits, but I'm sure it's pretty spectacular.
For this game, I have the Saints winning. They're at home. And for me, it wasn't more statistical reasoning. It was more mental reasoning. The Saints have lost 2 straight years in the playoffs off some wild controversies. We have the Minneapolis Miracle, which is the last time they met in the playoffs, with Case Keenum, Stephon Diggs getting that long touchdown. And then last year you have the no call against the LA NFC Championship Rams, who lost in the Super Bowl, whatever. But so they're still pissed off about that, and you know they're pissed off. You know Breeze wants it. He's hungry. That team is very hungry. And the other thing is the Vikings defense, who's going to be able to stop Michael Thomas, who's going to be able to stop Kamara on these little short routes. Jared Cook has looked very good.
Interesting point.
So, and what's it? The corner. I forgot his name.
Xavier Rhodes. He's
Thank
toast.
You.
Toast.
He hasn't looked the same.
Toast.
He has not looked anywhere as good as he usually is.
He's allowing a 80% catch rate this year. When he's targeted, he's allowing a catch 80% of the time. And now you're going up against Michael Thomas, who has the best catch rate.
Yeah.
The best catcher of the football.
Led the league in receiving yards. Pretty close. He was up there in touchdowns. He's one of the best receivers in the league. You're going to have to double him all game. And if you're going to double him, you're going to leave Cook. Jared Cook has been really good all year. You're going to leave Kamara. Kamara hasn't really been all of that, but he's been good, and he's good enough to turn it up now in the playoffs.
Can't guard Mike.
So,
actually, the Vikings' highest rated cornerback, this is pretty interesting, has been Trey Waynes this year.
Really?
And he's ranked 68th via PFF.
That's not good. The one thing I do like for the Vikings, though, is Dalvin Cook is going to be back, they said. So, yeah, that's nice. The Saints' defense really isn't.
You can't run on the Saints.
Yeah.
There's no running on the Saints' defense.
But it's not really the same. It's not really the run defense you need to worry about. It's passing because you have Kirk, and Kirk can really air that thing out. And Stephon Diggs and Thielen are looking, they're hungry too. I know they are. And a lot of people are overlooking the Vikings, but I don't know. I think it's too tough for them to go into New Orleans and get that win. So I have New Orleans winning.
I'll fade Kirk Cousins in the big game.
Yeah.
So I don't have any faith in him winning a game like this. He is going to be a nervous wreck.
He usually is.
He's going to be a nervous wreck. He's going to be those fans are going to be so loud. Yeah. He's going to be shaking in his boots.
That's another thing I wrote. The atmosphere playing in New Orleans, man. you can't even hear. I remember watching the Rams game last year. Jared Goff is going to the sideline, holding his ears closed, like trying to listen. Kirk Cousins needs to show. This is the biggest game of his career, I think. This is the biggest game of his career. If he can go into New Orleans and win, it's a big step.
The next game's always the biggest.
It is.
Other NFC matchup. What is it? It's
Seahawks,
Eagles.
Philly.
This game
Started off.
Eagles. I have no faith in the Eagles. Their offense is reliant on these screen passes and dumping it off in the tight ends on these little curl routes. Oh, and their leading receiver is who? Greg Ward. Who is it? Greg Ward?
I believe so.
If Carson Wentz wins this game, build him a statue.
Yeah.
Build him a statue outside of the stadium right now.
You know that crazy stat I sent? So there's this crazy stat that came out after the last game, which was Carson Wentz is the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 4,000 plus yards, and 0 of his receivers had 500 or more receiving yards in the season.
That says a lot. Like I said, a lot of running the ball, a lot of screen passes, and I don't think it's gonna lead them to any success going against Seattle. When it comes down to it, really, this is a tough game to pick because I don't like the Seahawks either. Mm-hmm. I think their play calling has been so detrimental to them. Yeah. Deciding to run the ball at all opportunities has not worked out for them because you have arguably the best quarterback in the NFL on your team, and you're deciding to run the ball to – what's that guy's name? Who's that running back that they had this past week? I don't even remember his name.
Talking about beast mode?
No, the other guy. I've never heard of him in my life. But those guys like that are running the football instead of putting the ball into their best players' hands. What else do the Seahawks have going for them besides Russell Wilson? Can you tell me? Their secondary has been bad.
Their whole defense has been bad.
They're not pressuring the quarterback. Their O-line has been horrendous. Dwayne Brown's hurt. What do you have? You have Russell Wilson. And what happened at the end of the San Francisco game? When they were down 2 touchdowns and they stopped giving the ball to their running backs. They were losing. Yep. Russell Wilson took the ball into his hands. He carried them because he's the best. And I hope that to maximize their potential, the only way that they're going to make any type of run is if they stop running the ball so damn much.
They need it, yeah. They need to stop. I mean, they are running the ball a lot. So who does that mean you have?
I'm taking the Seahawks. I'm taking the Seahawks, just blind faith that their coaching staff's going to get their head out of their asses and they're going to let Russell Wilson do his thing.
Yeah.
Dwayne Brown's him not playing has been huge.
What it came down to with me was both of these defenses are struggling big time. Both of these defenses are they haven't been doing anything this year. So what it came down to with me was which offense had the better leader and more weapons. You can compare Wentz. Wentz is easily a top 10 quarterback, arguably top 7, 6, whatever you want to put him. And you have Russell Wilson, who's top 2. Top 3.
I agree with both.
Top 3.
I agree with both those statements.
So right there, you have the edge of Russell Wilson. And then if you go to the rest of the offense, the Eagles have a better O-line, sure, but who is going to start catching the ball and who's going to run the ball? Yeah, and then you look at Seattle. Over there, you got Tyler Lockett, DK. You got Jacob Hollister who's been stepping up.
Hurt.
Is he playing?
He's been hurt the whole last half of the year almost. It's not the same.
Bro, going and playing against that Philly secondary, you could have a bum ankle and you still ball on him.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. And then beast mode, I mean, he doesn't look the same, but still, he's better than the running backs the Eagles have. So what it came down to for me was just whoever had more weapons on offense and Russell Wilson has been in this situation so many times in his career, so he knows what to do. Seattle's been in this situation before. So they know what to do. They're going to go into Philly. I think Seattle's going to win. I don't think by much, but I think they will win. So that's what I have.
Seattle. And it's a toss-up. Truly.
It really is a toss-up.
They got the line right. It's a toss-up.
It really is.
It's in Philly, and the Seahawks are slight favorites.
And it's not like Seattle can't play in the cold.
It's hard to not think about their earlier matchup this year where Seattle just straight up dominated them.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens, man.
I mean, we'll see. But yeah.
Is that all the matchups?
Those are, yeah, because the other 4 teams are on buys.
So I guess we can kind of get into who we think is going to win the entire thing.
Okay.
Or what the Super Bowl matchup's going to be.
Okay.
And why. You better have a good reason.
I got some decent reasons why.
The Browns, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
The Browns are definitely going to win the Super Bowl.
In 10 years from now, maybe? Just maybe. Sorry, David. Do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first?
You go first.
All right, well, here we go. So in the NFC,
Ladies first.
I have the 49ers beating the Saints in the NFC Championship, and the 49ers will be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. And in the AFC, I have the Ravens defeating the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, and my Super Bowl is going to be the 49ers versus the Ravens, where the 49ers will win the Super Bowl. I had the Ravens winning the Super Bowl for a very long time.
I'd love to see that.
But, man, I don't know. Kyle Shanahan with 2 weeks. Let him work some magic. They already played once, and the Ravens barely snuck it out. And it was in crappy weather in Baltimore where they could run the ball all day, and that's what the Ravens are known for.
Yeah.
But what is Lamar going to do when you need him to throw the ball when they're down
Against that
good of a defense?
Their secondary
Sherman's
has been
unreal.
Sherman is the best.
Balling.
He's the best cornerback of this decade.
Yeah. Technically, he was rated the highest corner in this decade.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was first. Chris Harris was second. I forgot who was third, but
Chris Harris, yeah.
But man, yeah. So I was riding this Ravens wave for a long time, and just stepping back and looking at it again.
Well, you have them in the Super Bowl, so
Yeah, but I flipped because I thought that I had the Ravens beating the Niners originally, but I flipped. I just like the Niners, man.
I like how their defense matches up. They're super fast on defense.
And honestly, like Jimmy G he's a good quarterback, but he's nothing special. But just Shanahan, he works magic.
Jimmy Garoppolo has a 59% completion on throws 20 yards downfield, 20 or more yards downfield. What does that say? Because he's not some incredible deep ball thrower.
He's not.
It tells me, and I see it all the time, there's guys running wide open.
And it's Kittle most of the time, too.
It's Kittle, it's Emmanuel Sanders, Deebo Samuel. They're just running. I see them with no one 10 yards around them.
He's a genius.
It's incredible.
Man. Shanahan is a genius. And honestly, like, this is the year where a lot of people, when Atlanta went to the Super Bowl, a lot of people forget that Shanahan was the OC. And no one really talked about him much. But now that he's the coach, and people were discrediting him a lot, I was discrediting him a lot. I'll be the first one to admit I was wrong about him being a head coach. And with San Fran, people were bringing up his record a lot. Oh, he's not winning games. Oh, he's not this. Oh, he's not that. Well, he didn't have much.
Yeah, people like you.
Me. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. The 49ers are the best team in the NFC. They're clearly better than the Vikings. They're better than the Seahawks, better than the Eagles. The Saints are going to have to visit the 49ers if they get there. Well, I think the Saints will get there.
Well, the Saints are the 3 seed. So they got to, if they win, they're going to Green Bay.
And I think they'll beat Green Bay, even though it's cold outside. Mm-hmm. And I know Drew Brees isn't all that with the cold weather, but I think they'll still win. But when they play the 49ers, I mean, the 49ers lit them up. And I know the Saints put up a lot of points on the Niners when they played also, but the Niners, Niners are the best team in the NFC. And
what makes so why do you think that they're the best?
They're the most complete team.
That's
top to bottom. They're the most complete team.
I
Best
agree.
overall defense. Their offense isn't all that, but their offense is amazing, and they have the best offensive-minded coach in the league. I think Sean Payton's 2.
Since trading for Emmanuel Sanders, the Saints are, not the Saints, the 49ers are 5th in expected points added per pass play. 5th. So that's a huge jump ever since they added Emmanuel Sanders because they were getting it done with their defense a lot.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't get – my one concern is Jimmy G is not the best quarterback in the playoffs, so they may try and get very conservative and let their defense kind of play it out. Let their defense win the game, which I would not be a fan of. I think they should keep throwing the ball.
Yeah, 100%.
Even though their run game's pretty dominant, but we'll see how that goes. And I also have the 49ers going to the Super Bowl. One team I'm not confident in on the road is the Saints. So when the Saints have to go to Green Bay, I see Green Bay winning that game.
Really? That's interesting.
I just don't see how they're going to go outside the dome. They're going to go to Lambeau. Whatever weather it is, it's going to be tough. Mm-hmm. Drew Brees is aging. His arm isn't incredible. His arm's not what it was.
Yeah, for sure.
So throwing through the elements, through the snow, through the wind, through the rain, Lambeau's going to be cold. It's going to be January. Mm-hmm. It's going to be mid-January. It's going to be tough.
It is.
So I can't see the Saints overcoming all that. Because even if you beat Green Bay in Lambeau, you got to go to San Francisco. They're not the best team on the road. They're different in the dome. And one thing about the playoffs is the bye is such a huge advantage. 79% of the teams who make the Super Bowl had a first-round bye in history.
Wow, I did not know that. That's very interesting.
So anyone picking the Titans...
Don't sleep on the Titans, man.
Anyone picking the Titans to go into New England, win that game, go into Kansas City or Baltimore, they're going to have to do both of those on the road and win those games and then win the Super Bowl, I think you're out of your mind. So I'll eat my words if I'm wrong about that. But I don't see that happening. I like the 49ers to represent the NFC. The theme for me is the easy road they have, combined with the great coaching. Yep. Shanahan's going to have 2 weeks to prepare for what likely is going to be Seattle or Philly, right?
It depends.
They're going to get the lowest seed.
Yeah, what else?
Let's assume the Saints win, right? Yeah, assuming the Saints win, they're going to get the Seahawks or the Eagles.
Which they've just beat the Seahawks.
They just beat Seattle in Seattle. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to have 2 weeks to prepare for them. Seattle has what going for them? Russell Wilson.
That's pretty much it.
And the Seahawks, the 49ers have everything going for them.
Their whole defense, man.
Their whole defense.
That's what makes them scary. They have the best defense in the entire NFC. Every team that's in the playoffs in the NFC, the 49ers have a defense that's better than them and is by a good margin, I think, for every team. So... yeah, 49ers makes the most sense. The
49ers are allowing a 21% completion on down-the-field throws. When I say down-the-field throws, I mean throws that are 20-plus yards downfield in the air. Mm-hmm. So that leads the NFL. They're good against the pass. They're okay. They're pretty good against the run.
They pressure the quarterback very well.
They pressure the quarterback extremely well. Mm-hmm. Their passing offense is great. Their running offense is great.
Yep.
Their head coach is a phenom. Amazing. He's a genius. They're the most well-rounded and complete team in the NFL, arguably. I think they are.
For sure.
So that...
it makes sense. So, AFC?
AFC. You go first.
I have the Ravens. I talked about this.
You do have...
Okay, right. Well, I'll break it down a little bit more. So, I have the Ravens beating the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. I don't even think... the Patriots beat Tennessee, so we'll start there. So Patriots are already out. With that happening, that means the Titans, I believe, would play Kansas City, depending on who wins the other game. So let's just say the Titans play Kansas City.
Are the Titans? What seed are they?
They're the.
Do you know what seed
six?
They're the sixth.
Oh, so they're actually no. So they'd play.
So if the Titans would play the Ravens, right? That's where their road ends.
Their road would end there. Yeah, for sure. I think the Titans are a very good team. They're complete, but they're not. The Ravens are I think the Ravens are the second most complete team, only behind
Harbaugh with 2 weeks, man. Harbaugh with 2 weeks against Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill's a great year.
And then whoever wins the Bills or Houston, I don't think either one of them beats the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been on a tear as of recently. Their defense has been amazing.
Their defense has been very good.
They've been very good, especially recently. They've been, I don't know where this came from all of a sudden, but Tyrann Mathieu arguably could be up there for Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm going to tell you, when you're done, I'm going to tell you in a second why their defense has been so good.
Okay, well, good, because I want to know.
You might be pretty mad about it.
Whatever. I don't. If you say Steve Spagnuolo, I swear to God. But yeah, so neither one of those teams are going to beat the Chiefs. The Titans aren't going to beat the Ravens. So I have the Ravens Chiefs in the AFC Championship, and when it comes down to that, I'm going to choose the more complete team. Not personally, I think Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson is a better player than Patrick Mahomes.
Okay,
if that makes sense. The Ravens defense, I think, is better than the Chiefs defense. I think Harbaugh can get it together.
Yes, the Ravens defense is better.
Yeah. So
don't be fooled. The Chiefs defense isn't amazing. They've been playing. They've been exceeding expectations. They've been playing well enough to win.
They're good.
A Super Bowl.
Now, it's not crazy to say the Chiefs could beat the Ravens because the Chiefs are a good team and their offense is outstanding. Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks I've seen in my life already, and he's only in, year 2 as a starter?
Year 2 as a starter.
It's crazy. But, yeah, I think the Ravens, just the way they've looked this year, the momentum they have, the biggest thing with me is I want to see what Lamar can do passing the ball when they need to pass. If they ever go down, and I think the game where they could possibly go down by a score, maybe 2, is the Chiefs. And I want to see what Lamar does in that situation.
When you got to drop back and throw 40 times.
30 times, 40, however many times it is. But, yeah, I think the Ravens will squeak it out against the Chiefs, go to the Super Bowl, and I think they'll lose to the 49ers. And that's my Super Bowl pick.
Here's who I have. I have that same championship game in the AFC, except I have the Chiefs winning it and going to play the 49ers in the Super Bowl. We could talk about their offense. That doesn't need much talking. They have some of the most deadly weapons in the NFL.
We know.
Tyreek Hill is the best receiver in the National Football League. You cannot change my mind. Nobody attracts more attention than Tyreek Hill.
It's a topic for another day, but go in.
We can get into that another day. He's the best receiver in the league. Nobody requires that much attention. No one gets triple teamed like that on such a consistent basis. We can talk about Travis Kelce, who's a top 2 tight end in the NFL.
Agreed.
He's not better than Kittle.
Nope.
Their defense has stood out to me, especially compared to last year. So remember that statistic I told you about the 49ers on throws?
Oh, 20 plus.
20 plus yards downfield? Well, do you know what their completion percentage allowed was? Do you remember?
It was like 50 something or 30 something?
No. Allowed. Completion percentage allowed.
I have no clue.
They were the best in the league.
Yeah, I know that.
So are you
I don't
Dory?
remember. I don't remember it.
You're Dory.
I'm Dory.
You're Dory from
Finding Nemo. I don't remember. I'm trying to listen, man. I'm trying to remember other stuff.
It was 21%.
21. Thank you.
21%. 21% of the throws downfield against the 49ers
they were number
completed.
1.
That's number 1.
Okay,
you know what number 2 is?
The Chiefs. Okay.
26% of the throws downfield are being completed against the Chiefs. And in my opinion, a lot of that credit needs to go to Steve Spagnuolo. And we've both been a big critic of Spagnuolo, however you say his name. Spagnuolo, whatever, man. Spagnuolo. It's so hard. He's so Italian. That's Italian, right?
Must be.
He has stepped out of his comfort zone. Mm-hmm. When he was with New York, I don't know what he did when he was with the Rams, but when he was with New York, he would just sit comfortably and rush 4 guys every single time. There was no creativity. They just relied on the elite pass rushers of that team. Now he's gotten creative with Kansas City. He's turned them into this aggressive, creative defense. The way Tyrann Mathieu is being used, the way their safeties are being used, they're blitzing a lot with those guys. Yeah. Tyrann Mathieu, I believe, is playing. Has the 8th most pass rush snaps as a safety in the NFL. And Sorensen's not far behind. I think he's 11th with 40. Tyrann Mathieu has about 50 pass rush snaps this year. So they're also playing a lot of cover zero. They're being super aggressive, sending the house.
Mm-hmm.
And in creative ways, too. They do a good job of disguising it.
Subtle, yeah.
They're not just being stupid about it.
Yeah.
So Spagnuolo is the reason for this turnaround that they've had from last year. In Week 13 versus the Patriots, they ran cover zero 7 times. This is something that's really stood out to me and has convinced me to go full on board on the Chiefs and pick them to not only make it to the Super Bowl, but to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
In those 7 plays of cover zero, which is where they sent the house, there was no safety help, it was just man-on-man coverage of the rest of the guys. Tom Brady threw the ball 7 times. He completed one of those passes for 7 yards. So not only are they being aggressive, but it's working out for them. They were able to confuse Tom Brady with their disguises, and that gives me confidence that they're going to be able to confuse anybody. If you can confuse Tom Brady and you can fluster him with the blitzes you're sending and what you're doing on defense, how you're disguising it, you can do it to anybody in the league, even Kyle Shanahan. Even Kyle Shanahan's offense with Jimmy Garoppolo. Even more importantly, the reason why I have so much faith in the Chiefs is Andy Reid with extra time to prepare. Coming off the bye in his career, this is during the regular season, he's 18-3. Straight up, he's 18-3.
Jeez.
He's had the bye in the playoffs 5 times in his career. His record in those games are 5-0. So essentially, they're a chalk into the conference championship game. So Andy Reid with Patrick Mahomes is going to take it to the promised land, and they're going to do it this year. Dee Ford's not going to line up offside. He's not on their team anymore. But he's not. What if he lined up offside against the Chiefs to give them some fortune back? No, like when the Chiefs play the Niners in the Super Bowl. Yeah. That's going to be a great game, though.
I don't know, man. Wow, that's pretty surprising. I mean, I can't argue that. I mean, they're one of the best teams.
Why aren't you going to argue it? You just said you had the Ravens winning it.
I mean, but it's not like I don't have the Ravens winning it by much. That's the thing. I have the Ravens beating the Chiefs, and the most I see the Ravens beating the Chiefs by is maybe 10. I don't see it going more than that. The Chiefs are a very complete team, and they've been on when's the last time they lost?
Oh my God, yeah.
They're on like a
7-game win streak.
There you go.
6. 6-game win streak. Their last loss was to the Titans.
There you go. To the Titans, by the way.
On the road. It's different in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Who's going to have to go to
atmosphere.
Arrowhead?
That's another big
Who's going to have to go? What's the seeding again? Who's going to have to go to Arrowhead?
It's going to have to be between the Bills or the Texans.
No.
Bills or Texans.
Well, if the Patriots win.
Or if the Patriots do win, they're going to have to go to Arrowhead.
Well, we're talking like the Patriots are like guaranteed to lose. They're favorites.
I know, but I don't know, man.
We're gonna
look
so dumb.
I hope
on Monday.
God,
they're gonna make us look so stupid.
God, I'm gonna have to hop back on here and be like, "Well, guys, I was wrong again about the freaking Patriots again." But yeah, we'll see. So I mean, if the Patriots do win, that'll be a fun matchup, man. That'll be a fun matchup to watch. Chiefs Patriots. So I think the Chiefs will beat them pretty good. I think.
I would love it. Hopefully, the thing with that was. They couldn't beat them in Foxborough. The Patriots couldn't beat them in Foxborough, and they needed a blocked punt on the Chiefs' own 10-yard line to get back into the game.
Yep.
So I don't see them going to Arrowhead and having any type of success, if I'm being honest with you. And I said this before the year. When it comes down to the playoffs, who are you going to trust to put more points on the board? The Chiefs or the Patriots? And I said this at the beginning of the year. They don't have the weapons They don't. Not even close. Nope. The weepons of the Chiefs have.
Losing Gronk, man. I know Gronk really wasn't like amazing last year, but
he was pretty good.
He's still their best. He's still their best offensive weapon. I like him more than Edelman. I know Edelman won Super Bowl MVP and blah 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 whatever, but Gronk was he's their best weapon. And when you lose your best weapon, someone who Gronk's one of the best tight ends of all time, if you lose someone like that, regardless of how old he is, regardless of his whatever, you lose like a lot of attention that was put on Gronk is now going to be spread out, and you don't have anyone. I mean, you're doubling Edelman. You're gonna have to rely on a rookie on N'Keal Harry and Mohamed Sanu.
This is the year Andy Reid gets over the hump.
I hope. I like Andy Reid.
He's going to do it right now.
I think this is one of the best teams that Andy Reid's ever had in his career, ever.
I mean, well,
He had a lot of good teams in Philly.
yeah.
He had a lot of good. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but he had good teams.
No,
in
this
Philly.
this is probably the best team.
I think
he's
this
had.
is I think this is one of the best, if not the best team he's had. From
It
top
sucks
to bottom.
though that Juan Thornhill got torn
Yeah,
ACL.
he's done
That's
for the
gonna
season.
that might be a huge blow to them.
We'll see, but yeah, man. 49ers and Chiefs. That's gonna be interesting.
All right, that finishes up for today. I guess
For today.
you heard it here. He's gonna be wrong. He's gonna be coming in a month. When's the Super Bowl? February.
Best
February.
division in the league is going to win the Super Bowl this year, and that's the NFC West. So,
You're gonna be wrong, and I hope we're not wrong about the Patriots.
God.
But we're gonna look so stupid.
God,
Just like
man, I
last
can't.
year, I put myself out there and I was saying how they're not gonna make it to the Super Bowl, and I had to eat humble pie. So
Yeah, but we'll
I
see.
guess I don't learn.
But yeah, that wraps it up for this episode, man. Thank you guys all.
Subscribe,
Like and subscribe.
and
Comment down below who do you guys think is going to win the Super Bowl
who's gonna win
and why. Give us a
Who's
little
going
reason
all
why.
the way? Who's gonna do it? It's not the Titans. Sorry.
Sorry, John. Even though I do love that bet, still, we'll see.